big news. We covered it on Sportsnaut. We covered it on Ringside Intel. You covered it. Oh no, I think Dana did. Conor McGregor finally announces his return. He actually gives a date in June, International Fight Week. It seems like it's legit. No one's denying it, as far as I can tell, that it's not that date. A little surprising that it's not UFC 300. That would have seemed like the obvious one, but maybe they just needed something bigger for International Fight Week, which is still a huge card for the company. Gonna fight Michael Chandler. All those fears for Michael Chandler and his supporters is gonna happen, but it's gonna happen at middleweight. Conor McGregor. Anthony, who benefits the least from a middleweight fight? Who is going to be more hurt by the silliness of two former lightweight stars, two of the better lightweights of the last decade, fighting 30 pounds heavier than what they are and what their optimal weight should be?
I mean, this is clearly against McGregor's best interest, right? A guy who has been known to gas out and, has not carried 170 as well as you think someone would, right? So yeah, let's add 15 pounds on top of that. This is not intelligent. But let's before we get far ahead of ourselves, I will tell you why. When the fight announcement broke, right? When Conor went on his Twitter and he announced that this was that he was going to fight on International Fight Week and middleweight and all this stuff, why I did not jump into the company Slack channel and say, hey, I'm going to do this right up. Because I don't believe him. I don't believe this. I think this is a troll. Yeah. He has been trolling Chandler since the start of filming for The Ultimate Fighter. He's constantly trolling him and constantly talking about fighting other people and just constantly talking. I don't believe this for a second. Like, as soon as I watched the video, I was like, yeah, that's not true. And especially when he gives this little maniacal laugh at the end. Like,
yes, full-on Muppet maniacal laugh.
What I find really hilarious about this, too, though, is how, like, Conor McGregor has such a chokehold on the industry of mixed martial arts media that everybody has to report on this like it's real, right? Like everybody.
ESPN had it on their front page in the top of the headlines.
The first thing, I'm telling you, I was scrolling YouTube, just, looking at YouTube like for random stuff like I typically do. And ESPN MMA's page pops up with some breaking announcement about McGregor. And I don't know, I didn't even watch the video, so I don't know if they got like Brett Okamoto or Mark Raimondi or something to talk about this and all that. But those guys got to take this seriously. So my first thought was like, okay, well, end of the year, nothing's going on. Damn, folks is out here desperate for content. They are desperate for content, desperate to find things to write about, desperate to post some videos about something, and McGregor just gift wrap this load of foolishness. I don't believe this is happening. If it does, however, he is at a significant disadvantage by making this at middleweight, because it means that he doesn't necessarily have to put the rounds in and do the road work and do all the cardio stuff that's necessary to make the weight. He's clearly ballooned in size, and he's comfortable eating, 10 tomahawks a day or whatever he eats, and and bench pressing cars. I don't know what he's doing, but that stuff that does not carry you through a MMA fight. And someone like Chandler, who doesn't gas out. Imagine this, though. This is what I see happening. If this really happens, McGregor walking into that cage close to what middleweight actually is, around 185. Yeah. I've seen him 183, 184, something in there. Chandler walking in at 173.
Yep, I was thinking the same thing.
And being so far better prepared for the cardio demands of an MMA fight, that if he survives the first round, that it could just be very, very easy work. If this is real, Conor's making a huge mistake by making this at middleweight.
Yeah, I had my thoughts, my doubts watching the video, because if you watch the video, it's like in a restaurant somewhere, like
he's drinking wine, you're goofing off.
Like the first thing, I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. It's not April. No, the year hasn't even ended. It's December. Okay, so it's not April Fool's. So at least it's not that. So somewhere, and then I was like, okay, he's given a date. He's given International Fight Week, not UFC 300. I was like, okay, that's far away. But yes, the maniacal laugh when he says middleweight, I do. I have my doubts just like you, but since there's no one coming out the woodwork saying no, not true, and I don't know about that. Chandler hasn't said, it seems like it's as real as it's been in a year. And we're going to talk about why he's also one of the most disappointing fighters in the sport, because we've been talking about this for a effing year. It was February when this guy was announced to fight. So this is as close. We didn't get an event. We never got a date. We actually have a date. So this is like 53% for real. That said, I agree with you 1,000%. This dude that doesn't have good cardio, why are you putting more weight on your body? Like, damn, like he is one of the most, he's up there with John Jones as one of the most frustrating, legendary UFC fighters. Because John Jones, well done, the best UFC fighter all time, the video game creator fighter of fighters. But we all know the absolute joke and PR nightmare he is away from the sport. Then this guy, the most popular fighter, like he doesn't like he was once became popular because his dedication to being the best was so admirable, even if you didn't like him. This guy wanted to be the best. He understood the sport. He talked about it. When he lost, he was humble. And then something changed, probably the cocaine, because it's a hell of a thing. And he's just become a completely different person. Like, he doesn't care about being a superior athlete, a superstar, the best of it. He just talks too much. It's just annoying. And I agree. Chandler is a smart fighter. You can knock him for all these things. Okay, he's never been a UFC champion, but he's always been prepared. Always a good fighter, one of the most entertaining fighters of his generation. Yeah, he's going to come in 170. He's not going to blow his body up just to match this buffoon. And yeah, I can see him clowning him. And if he gets clowned by Michael Chandler, who's lost to the best of the best, where does this guy go? Like, he's going to be in BKFC or something. Like, he's going to be, it's crazy.